Rachel Reeves is blaming everybody but herself, it would seem, and now even Donald Trump for the slump in the UK economy this month. I kid you not, this is absolutely true, and it's even been slapped back by Number 10 themselves, according to their official spokesperson. So allow me to outline this for you in this video. It's absolutely hilarious. You cannot make this up. The Chancellor of the Exchequer for the UK is making statements and comments that not only will antagonize players on the international stage and world powers, but not even her own government agrees with what she says. So this will be entertaining. But first of all, if you haven't noticed, we're here on my money channel, as I like to call it, Daniel Shensmith. So please do subscribe. It's not a new channel. It's been here for a while. I apologize for neglecting this channel somewhat. I have a very busy schedule with my work and everything else, and trying to keep up with daily videos on Black Belt Barrister and the occasional video on Black Belt Secrets, where you get my personal opinions on things, which sort of changed from a martial arts channel. So I've got a few channels to manage, but do subscribe here for money tips, business, wealth creation, etc. I will humbly try to help you in as many ways as I can, as well as talking about the car crash that is the UK economy right now and Rachel Reeves. So let's get into it. So these are two Telegraph articles I will link in the description below. Rachel from Complaints, it says. Now, it is somewhat derogatory, but it is sort of tongue-in-cheek funny at the same time because of all the thing about her CV and actually what did she really do as a role in the banks. But by the by, is now suggesting that Donald Trump is to blame for the unexpected, I'll come back to that in a second, contraction in Britain's economy for the start of the year. Now, it wasn't really unexpected, was it? We all expected that. I called that as soon as they came out with the budget. I said this is going to shrink the economy. It's going to kill businesses. We've had companies' house records shrink for the first time since they've started reporting in 2012. A whole disaster. So this goes on. What she said was she was at this thing in Scotland on Friday. She said, the world has changed. Across the globe, we are feeling the consequences. Now, of course, referring to tariffs and various other things, and in essence, blaming Donald Trump for the shrinking of the economy in the UK. Now, let's not forget that he didn't assume office until the 20th of January. So he was only in office for the last 11 days of January. And let's say that the economy shrinking in January would have been set up for that shrinkage before January. It didn't just happen in January. That's not how this works. The effect on January happened before January. That's how the consequences of these things work. And so the GDP contracted by 0.1% in January, according to the ONS, because of Reeves' business bashing budget, not Trump. And that's a drop from the 0.4% growth in December, but below the expected 0.1% rise. Now, that's subjective. I think many of us did expect a shrink, but by the by. So despite what she says now, number 10, again, this is the second article in the Telegraph, number 10 slaps down Reeves for suggesting that Trump is to blame for the weak economy. Downing Street slapped down Rachel Reeves after the chancellors suggested Donald Trump was to blame for Britain's weak economic performance. Denied that the US president's tariffs were to blame for the contraction in the economy at the start of the year, Ms. Reeves had appeared to point the finger at Mr. Trump's administration, for official figures show that UK GDP shrank unexpectedly in January. However, the Prime Minister's official spokesperson said no when asked if the US president was at fault. Well, of course he did, because it's nothing to do with Donald Trump. He was not only was nothing to do with him before January, but only in January. He's only in office for 11 days. So, I mean, you know, whenever I say anything that is remotely in Donald Trump's favor, some people accuse me of defending him and all this sort of stuff. This is just a fact. He was in office for 11 days in January. It's nothing to do with him. The spokesperson added, we know the cost of living crisis is not over, and this government's determined to make people better off, and that's why economic growth is the Prime Minister's number one priority. Growth is what funds our public services and what enables investments in hospitals and schools and, of course, most importantly, raise living standards for everyone, everywhere. And so when she says or hints or whatever that Donald Trump has anything to do with the shrinking of the economy, that's just utter nonsense. Now, I'm just going to lift up the light a little bit here. There's a lot of technical stuff goes on behind the scenes here because we've got the sun here. So I've got the blinds open. It's a nice Saturday, not quite morning anymore. But I've got the light here. So obviously I need to adjust the light. But by the by, but talking about the technical stuff. Now, you're on this money channel of mine, hopefully not just for a bit of news and banter, but also for some ideas and somehow to create wealth and create business and so on. Now, humbly, I've been in business for a very, very long time now. In fact, I've technically never been employed by anybody bar my own companies. And so there's a real difficulty there because being self-employed or employed by your own company, which many banks and so on think of as the same thing. They see you as owning your company and employing yourself. They see you as self-employed. They pretty much treat you as self-employed because there is no safety net. It is you, your work, your contribution, and that's it. If you don't work, you don't run the business, unless the business has got to such a state where it does run, you've got employees, it runs without you, and it can run without you. But there are so many businesses that just can't do that. I think the vast majority of businesses can't do that until they get to that certain point. And so only when you've run businesses for so long is that at all possible. But what can you do if you're really starting out? Because a lot of people have asked me this as something to cover on this channel. So enough of sort of Labour politician bashing for now. Let's talk about something really positive business-wise that you can do. Now, if you have something that you are absolutely passionate about, and if you can't tell, I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about law. I'm passionate about business, about money, lots of different things, martial arts, tech stuff, gym stuff, or you name it. I'm the color orange, if you haven't noticed. I'm passionate about all these things. And so I like to help people. I like to talk to people about these things. And my journey on YouTube started really with martial arts because I was doing classes, teaching classes, and then I was training an hour beforehand, an hour afterwards, and then 2 hours beforehand, and then pushing for 2 hours afterwards, and we were training for 2 or 3 hours, and so I was there all evening. And a lot of people said, you know, can I train with you and do this one-to-one? Because they wanted my one-to-one teachings. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. You just turn up and train with me. So eventually I set up a YouTube channel. And there's a really funny story there as well. I set up the YouTube channel to help people one-to-one to record the things. And here's an example for those who are interested. This is from 11 years ago. So somebody wanted a breakdown of how we do this flying sidekick in one of the patterns called Chongmu in Taekwondo. And it involves a lift, but more importantly, a turnover of the hips and to throw the kick out. And so I broke this down in great detail. In fact, I really enjoyed doing this. This was 11 years ago. And in fact, there's, I'm going off on a tangent now, but you'll see the passion come out. There's a reason for talking to you about this. All the way through here, you'll see that actually, where is it? Right near the end, look. I asked the guy to put the pad down to show the accuracy of this kick. And it's kind of funny because you can see a subtle grin on my face because I know that this is going to look kind of cool because I'll be this close to his clothing, but without actually kicking him. Not on this one. I'm going to show you in a second. And it's just to show the accuracy of this kick, despite how powerful you can see that this is here, dumping the kick straight into this pad and knocking him back on his feet. This was a big guy who sadly I lost touch with the story that I'll tell you in a minute. Or maybe I'll save it for another video. But this bit I'm just about to show you here, the subtle grin on my face. And here I do this kick and just barely miss his clothing just to show the accuracy of this kick. Now, the reason for showing you this is the passion in those moves, the passion in the patterns and the training is absolutely what made those videos a success, comparatively speaking. Obviously, back in the day, I had a few tens of thousands of subscribers. Now on my main channel, I've got 750,000 subscribers. On this channel now I have 177,000 subscribers, largely because I've sort of changed direction, giving you my personal opinions. But I'm passionate about talking to you what I think about and what I think of these things. And so the whole point of this is, if you really want to find something that you can absolutely make money with, build a business out of, it is not necessarily something that has a lot of money in it. It's not necessarily something that is obviously valuable. Obviously, you can turn a profit because you can turn a profit on near enough anything. It depends whether you are absolutely passionate about it. Now, let's take, like, random example. Let's take a coaster. This is a little marble. I think it's real marble coaster. It says made in India. And these are obviously commercially produced things by the thousand, and they just make these things. If you had an absolute passion for making things, you could get any kind of natural materials and you could hand make these yourself. You can sell them on Etsy or wherever. People have had their issues with selling stuff on Etsy. I've had clients come to me with those trademark and design issues and whatever. They don't tend to favor the individual creators and shops, in my experience from clients that I've dealt with. What you could probably do instead is set up your own social media channels. TikTok is a great place to grow very quickly. Instagram is okay, but I think TikTok is quicker to grow. YouTube is very, very difficult to grow, I would have to say, in my experience. I've grown TikTok, I've grown Instagram to a degree, but mainly on YouTube. I think YouTube is probably the most rewarding over time, but very difficult to grow. But if you record, I'm just going to stop my screen from turning off. If you could record your progress and your development of how you make these things, people are interested in your passion. And so, and that's, I think, jumping back to the articles, what we seem to lack in members of this government, particularly Reeves, is a lack of passion. They are saying robotically the same things. She says we need to go further and faster. It's like, it's just all waffle and nonsense. There's no real passion there. If, humbly, if you had someone like me as the Chancellor, I would absolutely be passionate about making this stuff work, helping people make businesses and helping them to make money and helping them to earn money and helping businesses to employ people and to really value the people that come to work for them. And if you're building your business, really value the business that you're creating. It absolutely comes from that passion. And so back on point, if you were to film yourself creating these things and how you make them, people are interested in your passion in the product, and then they'll go ahead and buy the product. And then by selling the product, they will support you. If I know from experience, for example, I wanted to support my martial arts organization, which is run as a not-for-profit organization. It's the TC UK and my club is the ATKDA. Over on my main channel, I said that I will set up a self-defense course where I would do a series of a few videos talking about the law on self-defense, what you can do, what you can't do, whether you can use weapons, whether you need to wait to be attacked before you can attack them, and so on, and all this sort of stuff. And so as a support for my organization, completely voluntarily, I did these videos and people flocked in. Hundreds and hundreds of people flocked in and bought that course because it was supporting the organization, it was supporting me. Obviously, it was something they were interested in, but it's also, they could see the passion that I had for delivering that course and the passion to help the organization. And people supported me for that. I'm so grateful to them for doing that. It really helped the organization because they were, they deserve all of the support that they can get because it's not for profit. They are doing that to help people. And people came along and bought the course and helped. And so that it didn't cost me anything but my time, but I'm passionate about doing that. And so I wanted to do that to help. So this is something you can do if you seriously want to generate more money, create a business, but you don't know where to start. That is absolutely, think of something that you are absolutely passionate about and then document the progress, document your setup even and what it is, talk to people about it, be absolutely genuine, absolutely sincere, and it will definitely work. So there's a massive wild tangent for you, but this is my money channel. This is what I would like to deliver for you on this channel. Please do subscribe to the channel. Help me. I'm painfully close to 30,000 subscribers on this channel. Please do support the channel and subscribe. It's completely free, obviously. And let me know what you'd like me to talk about, the steps and the processes, and I will help you in any way I can. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.